So over the past 3 years of living with Andrew, I've noticed one thing that he does behind closed doors that no one else sees except for myself. And this one thing that he does has helped him to achieve a level of mastery over many different disciplines. And this one thing has also helped me to achieve a level of mastery in my own given field at a much faster, accelerated rate. So today, what we're going to talk about is two things. Number one, we're going to talk about what it takes to become a master in your given field. And number two, we're going to talk about how to master anything. And if you apply these two principles to your own life, in a crowd full of people, you're going to stand out from the crowd. And standing out from the crowd is what it takes to get to the top. So today, we're going to talk about mastery.
See, the right arm was a bit more forward. It was more up. It was more like a shield. Yeah, that can be moved there.
Across. I'll find it.
See the fainting, how it causes them to move.
Those skinny legs.
So, there's a lot of people who go to the gym every day, who spar every day, who train every day, but they never reach the top. What does it take to reach the top? What's the level of obsession, the level of dedication to the craft that it takes to get to the top?
To get good at fighting, you have to be discontent with the real world. You have to hate everything that everybody's detained with. Hate drinking, hate parties, hate festivals, hate clubs. To truly get good at this sport, it's not about obsession and dedication. You need to have a mental health issue that this can placate, this can satisfy. It's the only way to get good at this sport. There's no other reason to do it. When everyone else is happy just to go for dinner and go drink and sit around with girls, you have to feel something inside of you that makes you unhappy with that. And the only way to make it go away is to fight. There's no other logical reason to do this sport. There's no reason when you start off to be risking your life for pennies. There's no reason to train so hard. It's difficult. I mean, there's glory now for me, but at the beginning there was no glory. It's just something you have to want to do because there's no other outlet for you. It's not a logical decision.
I'm sure that the lessons you learned also applied to business and like outside of the ring. Can you touch on that just a little bit?
Yeah, your enemy never has mercy on you. Never expect mercy. Never expect pity. Never use excuses. It doesn't matter if your ankle hurts. Doesn't matter if you're sad. It doesn't matter if you had a bad day. It doesn't matter if you have a cold. When it's on, it's on. And they're going to do their very best to destroy you. Never expect quarter from an adversary. Prepare yourself. And life is not how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's how much you can take and keep moving forward.
If I was to sum up in one word everything that Andrew is saying, it would be obsession. It's having an almost psychotic level of dedication to your craft. And Andrew was speaking specifically on fighting, but it goes so much deeper than that. Some of you watching may love Andrew, some of you may hate Andrew, but regardless of how you feel, the objective truth is that he is a phenomenal speaker. And that is not by chance, and that is not by accident. I've lived with Andrew for almost 3 years, and what goes on behind the scenes, behind closed doors, is fascinating. Whenever I make him a video for the first time and he watches it, He plays it back over and over and over again, and he analyzes every single word, every single breath, every single pause, every single pronunciation of every single word. He analyzes himself, he critiques himself, and he makes little improvements, and he clocks these little improvements that he can make for the next video. And he does this every time I make him something. He also does it for every interview, whether it be Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan, whoever. He's going to watch it over and over again. He's going to take note of every little thing that could have been improved so that the next time he can perform even better. And this principle doesn't just obtain to Andrew. I have several friends who have achieved a level of mastery in their given field, and they all do the exact same thing. They take a period of time where they self-impose a apprenticeship on themselves, and for weeks, months at a time, they do nothing except this one single thing. They live, eat, breathe, sleep their craft. They are completely obsessed and dedicated. And that level of dedication separates them from the pack. And that's why they're able to get to the top so quickly, is because they're putting in the hours and they're putting in the work. And so if you're watching this, what you need to know is this: if you want to stand out from the crowd, if you want to get really good at something, if you want to become world class and be known for being the guy at whatever given thing, the first thing you need to do is realize that there are levels to the game. You have to be humble in your self-assessment and realize where you are in that hierarchy. The worst thing that you can possibly do is to start learning a craft and quickly think, I've got this all figured out. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm super good at this. No one else is as good as me. I'm the best. No, you probably suck. And you're probably not good at all. And there are many improvements that you can make. So you need to humble yourself. You need to recognize the hierarchy, recognize the levels to the game, and pinpoint exactly where you are in this hierarchy. And if you're pretty low, which you probably are, that's not a bad thing, because any of us, myself included, who start to learn something, start at the bottom. But what you do next is you practice. You analyze every single one of your performances or pieces that you create. In my case, you analyze it and you criticize every single second of it, and you pinpoint exactly what could be made better. Because I promise you, if you perform or if you make something, whatever, it's not perfect. You could have improved something. So pinpoint exactly what that is so that the next time you perform or create, you can improve things. That is what you must do. You must remain humble, and you must analyze yourself and have a psychotic dedication to self-analysis and self-criticism. Do not think you have it all figured out, because you don't. In my own case, when I first started, I'll take you through a few visual references right now. I just turned the camera on, I set it on auto. I didn't know what manual settings were, and I just recorded, and it sucked. My videos were horrible, obviously. But then I studied. I learned what this thing called log was, and apparently it made your footage better. So I turned on log, and it looked horrible, and I didn't know why. It was grayed out, it was washed out. So I pumped my saturation up a little bit and thought, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. No. Then I learned about Rec 709. Boom, now my footage looks a little bit better. Okay, cool, but it doesn't have that pizzazz, it doesn't have that pop. And so then I tried to learn about cinematic grading. Boom, okay, now it looks a little bit better. It's stylized, but it's still not there. But I was in Premiere, so I started learning about DaVinci. Okay, I get into DaVinci. Boom, now things look completely different, but it's still not there yet. Boom, here we are today. Things look good. I would argue things actually look great. They're not perfect. I'm not creating work that's going to be on the big screen at your local theater. Remember, there's levels to the game. I know exactly where I'm at in the hierarchy. I'm really good at what I do, but there are many people who are much better. There are people out there who are making movies that you're watching on your TV or in theaters. That's not me. Levels to the game. But I'm good at what I do. And if you're watching this and you decide to dedicate yourself to a craft, you can be good too. But remember what I said earlier. You have to put in the work. You have to analyze yourself. You have to criticize yourself. You have to remain humble. You have to recognize the levels to the game, and you have to put in the work. And if you do that, you can become really proficient and really good pretty quickly. No, I like you in the shot. That was good. That's very good. Guys, we're about to leave Bucharest.
Yeah, change the subject. Luke, do you want to hear what a piece of shit Bailey
And
is?
move to a new place. This has been our home. My home for 3 years. Your home for who knows how long.
Yeah, you want to hear what a piece of shit Bailey is?
I'd love to.
Bailey's brother took his first international flight in his life, and Bailey booked him economy. He flew here economy. His own brother.
Look at that Andrew smile.
No. Bailey's. He flew his own brother economy on his first international flight.
Okay.
So his brother's second international flight
Private jet
is a private jet. Because I'm nicer than Bailey is to his own brother. You're trying to change the subject to be about, oh, we're moving to Dubai because we've got a new house there. No. You're a piece of shit, Bailey. How dare you do that? How dare you do that? And how dare you try and scrub your record on the internet by talking about other things like a brand new fucking $50 million fucking penthouse.
Fair.
Boring. You
Fair.
are the worst man I've ever even heard of.
All right. Do you feel sentimental at all? Is it sad at all that you're leaving the house that has been, I guess, your home for who knows how long?
No, because you see, the thing is, when I was young and broke, you used to have a car and you used to get a new car. And you say kind of like mentally say goodbye to your old car. Remember my Range Rover being driven away after I'd sold it to some guy secondhand. He drove it away and it's the last time you ever see your car. I've still got this house. Nothing. It's just like adding something to your collection. I'll be here sometimes. It's still my house. My security guards are still going to be here full time. Like I can come back anytime I like. It doesn't feel like I'm moving on. Whereas if you're like closing the doors for the last time, I can imagine having that feeling. And I lasted that, what, 6-7 years ago? Last time I left the house, like I'm leaving this place. But this is still my house. I'm just going somewhere else temporarily. I'll come back when I want, as and when. So no, I feel absolutely no sadness in my heart, apart from your poor brother Brandon, who came all the way here in economy class with his brothers. I just feel like, you know, if I could shake that unescapable sadness in my soul, I'd be pretty happy about, you know, flying to Dubai in a couple hours. But maybe just the joy that I'm giving Bailey's brother a proper flight experience can lift my spirits out of this horrible purgatory they've been stuck in. Andrew, anything to add?
Bailey's a shit person.
Amir, you ready for Dubai?
Fucking ready, bro. It's ready! Dubai ready for us! Huh? I don't think so. What are you laughing at? You next.
Alex, you excited to go to your favorite place?
Super excited.
Alex loves Dubai.
Can't wait.
Can't wait? All right, you two. Brandon's third time ever flying on a plane, first time out of the country. Got to get on the PJ to go to Dubai.
Up on the PJ, baby. And they have to go to Texarkana. Yeah, that's in Arkansas. One of the best sides is the mac and cheese. Yep.
Tristan, your shoe's untied.
That's what Manu said.
Really?
Yeah.
Your shoe is actually untied. For real.
No,
No, it is.
I checked. And I refused to look down because of the game that we played for 6 months straight.
It must have came undone since you checked.
There's no way. No one watching this is going to understand.
Would your own brother lie to you? Brandon,
Yes.
tell me.
It's finally happening.
Second?
I said it's finally happened.
You're the only one who's excited about that.
Like, we visit Dubai, but we haven't actually moved to Dubai. This feels like we're moving to Dubai, which we are.
Look at his luggage.
We'll be there forever.
Am I the only one that feels super sentimental about Bucharest and this kind of makes
we'll
me
be back
sad?
next summer, bro. We'll get in the supercars. We'll run it. We'll go around all over again. We're gonna run it again. This summer was fun. We didn't drive enough, but we had
Get to
fun.
Dubai, stop hanging out with Bailey, and next summer will be sick.
Nice.
more disgusting to God than wasted time. So you can sit around and say, you know, we're on a jet, or I'm traveling, or I'm tired, but you can always do something. And it's not just about the physical aspect of it, it's the mental aspect of never wasting time. Every single spare second you have, you use efficiently. Either to make money or to train, and if I didn't want to train and I couldn't make any money, then I'd sleep, which is a good use of time because you have to sleep. So I was sitting here and we reached 37,000 feet on our way to Dubai. And Master Amir was here, so I said, let's do some pads, why not?
So, I know you don't actually have a brother, but if you did, he was going to take his first commercial flight across the Atlantic for the first time ever. What would you do? I mean, would you have him stuck in economy?
So Brandon. Yes, sir. How's the jet? Like I expected. I belong here.
So what he meant was how he expected to be treated by family. That's what he meant. You go read between the lines. There's subtext here, Bailey. Take the fucking hint.
You know what? You're right. Brandon, you gotta bail me out. I asked if you wanted business, and you said no.
Well, you don't say yes.
I should have just.
You just expect. It's like if you ask a girl, do you want flowers? She's like, no. But she's just, you know, you're supposed to do these things.
Okay. Now we're going to get technical and talk about how to master anything. Number one, you're going to choose one single skill to focus on for the next 12 months. In my own case, at the beginning of this year, when I decided that I wanted to improve as a filmmaker, I decided that I was going to learn how to color grade. So for the past 12 months, I have only focused time and effort into learning this one skill set. I didn't try to improve my cinematography. I didn't try to improve my audio engineering, my special effects, nothing. It was only color grading. And if you're trying to master a skill, you have to set apart a set amount of time to learn one single thing. Now, once you decide on the skill set that you want to learn, you then need to find a digital mentor. This is not going to be someone that you text back and forth with questions. Matter of factly, this person isn't even going to know that you exist. This is a person who is a master at this craft, who has preferably been practicing their profession for 5 years, preferably 10. This person is going to be well respected amongst peers in their industry. And when you watch their work, it should be apparent that they are a master in their own given way. Now, when you find this person on YouTube, you need to watch every single one of their videos from start to finish, and you need to take detailed notes on everything that they say. In my own case, I found a guy by the name of Colin Kelly, and he was my digital mentor. I decided to watch all of his videos from start to finish, and when I decided to learn color grading, he was my guy. And the reason you need to listen to only one person is because when you go all in with this digital mentor, you're going to learn their philosophy of the craft. And over the course of studying everything that they've put out, you're going to learn a framework of how to practice this given skill. And when you understand a framework, you're able to make progress much faster at the given thing you're trying to learn. So, when you find a digital mentor, you're going to go all in with this one person. You're going to completely ignore anyone else that might make content on the given subject. Find a guy who is an expert at the field and only listen to them. Watch their videos. If they have a course, buy the course. If they have a product, buy the product. Go all in with your one person. Number 3, once you start to learn from this individual, you need to break up the skill set into micro components. What do I mean by that? Whenever I was learning color grading, which is a very big subject, I broke it down into its individual parts. So first I started learning how to set proper exposure. Next, I learned about contrast. After that, I learned about cinematic saturation. After that, I learned about look development. Then I learned about color management. I broke the skill into its individual parts. And after a few months, lo and behold, I have learned, to a certain extent, color grading. So when you're learning your skill, you need to break it into as many micro components as you possibly can. And when you do that, you're going to, in a few months' time, have a decent understanding of the thing that you're trying to learn. And once you have a decent understanding, that leads into the next step. You need to have a high-frequency, low-pressure environment in which you practice. Now, I'm lucky enough to live with Andrew, and we record all day, every day, so I have a high frequency of practice. I can practice all day long because we record so much footage. And it's relatively low pressure because if I mess up, it's not that big of a deal because we can just try again tomorrow. So if you're not as fortunate as I am to be in a situation where I can practice my craft every day, you need to find a way to practice the thing you're trying to learn every single day. That is key, high frequency practice. And once you start getting reps under your belt, the next thing that you need to do is what we talked about before. You need to analyze your work. So for me, that's easy because I can just watch the videos that I make. I can analyze what I did right, what I did wrong. But if you're a performer, if you build things, if you do something outside of what I do, perhaps you need to record yourself so you can analyze your movements. Whatever that looks like for you, you need to set aside time to analyze your work so that you can see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And that leads into the next point. Once you're able to analyze yourself, you can see what you can improve, and you need to aim to make 1% improvements in as many components of the craft as possible. So for myself, like I said earlier, I learned contrast, but next I wanted to learn how to add that cinematic fade so that my footage just had that extra pop. So then I dedicated time and effort to learning how to create proper fades. After that, I wanted to learn more about cinematic saturation. There's ways to make your image saturated, but there's also ways to make it more dense. This is getting complicated, but you get what I'm saying. You need to aim at making these 1% improvements in as many components as possible, because in a year's time, that is going to set your work so much further apart than when you first began learning your skill. So start trying to make 1% improvements in as many of these components as you can. Inevitably, that's going to lead to a plateau though. You can only improve for so long. So the process of mastery, it's not linear. You're going to make improvements and then you're going to plateau. You're going to make improvements and then you're going to plateau. Plateaus are a part of the game. It is what it is. I hit one a few months back. I'm watching my videos and it just hits me. Like I'm sitting there watching and I'm thinking, do I even know what I'm doing? This looks horrible. I should be better than this. Like, I know what I'm doing, I think. Or do I really? Like, I was doubting myself. But that's just a part of the process. It's a plateau. What you do to push past these plateaus is you go back to the very beginning of the process, okay? You're going to go back, you're going to watch your digital mentor, you're going to go through their content again, you're going to go through your notes, and things are going to slowly click. You just start the process over again, and before too long, you're going to burst through that plateau, and you're going to be on the up again until you inevitably hit another plateau. But that's a part of the game. It's a process. It is not a linear path. You're going to hit plateaus. That's a part of the game. And that leads to the final point of mastery. This process that I've described so far will eventually become a habit. And it eventually just becomes who you are. You are a practicer. That's not really a word, but we're going to run with it. You're a practicer. You analyze yourself, you practice, you strive for improvements that will eventually become a characteristic that defines who you are as an individual. It is a habit, and you need to adopt that mindset that my work is never good enough. I need to constantly be striving for improvements. I need to constantly be striving for continued education. And when you adopt that mindset, mastery then becomes inevitable at that point. So this is the process to mastery. You need to set aside minimum 1 year. You're not going to master your given field in a year. Don't get confused. Mastery takes time, but if you're trying to learn something new, a year is a good amount of time to become highly proficient at something. You can get paid for your work after a year's time because you're going to be better than most people because you put in the work. So after watching this video, you now know the mindset behind becoming a master of your given field, and you know the actual process to achieving mastery. And if you apply these things to your own life, you will be able to set yourself apart from the crowd like we talked about earlier. So that's everything that I wanted to say in this video. I hope you learned something. I hope it inspired you a little bit. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. So guys, thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.